Hello everyone, MFPallytime here, and welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. In today's video, we're taking a look at Samuro and beginning our deep dive with him. Unfortunately, there's not too much to dive into because Samuro, I would say, has two distinct play styles. Both of them are very focused around Windwalk. One of them leads into his trait a bit more, his passive a bit more, and gets some crazy boost to attack speed as a result of that. That's the build we're going to be focusing on today. The other build is focused on going in pure stealth all the time for maximum ambush shenanigans. Both of them are pretty fun. Both are extremely good at controlling the map. But I do wish there was a bit more diversity out there. You know what I'm saying? Samuro is one of my favorite characters in the game. I think he needs more love. I wish there was someone around that could still do that. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If I seem out of it, it's because we have a family emergency. So I'm trying to get some videos done tonight before we leave. Still got to pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. Enjoy the Samuro game. I got to knock out one more real quick. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves in the Tomb of the Spider Queen today. This should be an interesting one. We found a Cho'Gall out in the wild. Today's friendly team, Samuro, Cho'Gall, Tassadar, and Anduin. The enemy team, Brightwing. Big counter to Cho'Gall, Zagara, Azmodan, ETC, and Greymane. At level 1, we are going for Way of the Wind. Gain 40% movement speed for 3 seconds after entering or exiting Windwalk. Casting Windwalk heals us for 4% of our maximum health while we're in stealth. I think the entire time. This talent is so crazy strong that there is almost absolutely zero talent diversity for Samuro at level 1, and it kind of cements the stealth playstyle for the character. Not that I dislike the stealth playstyle for the character, but it would be fun to have even more options out there. Looks like we are getting into a tussle at the beginning of the round. I need to make sure that I don't give the Azmodan too many free clones to just deal damage to with his dunk. If he's paying attention, he should just be pretty much throwing that dunk at me all of the time. As I make my clones and try to push out lanes, he gets full stacks off of each of those strikes. Looks like ETC wanted to come up to pay us a visit with our big guy down in the bottom lane. Maybe I'd take his spot and they can rotate with the team. As we are moving up pretty far here, we are going to try to get in some damage. Now that he used his dunk, we swap out with our clones. So our Q abilities mirror image. It makes 2 additional Samuro that are controlled by AI. I do not tell them what to do. And there is an ult that lets you do that, but it's been so nerfed into the ground over the years that, to be honest, I don't even know what that's like anymore. We should probably try to revisit that at some point. Our W ability allows us to deal critical hits. There's a passive component with it, so every 3 swings builds up a then critical hit, or we could press W to get a free crit immediately. Go ahead and move away from that as Azmodan tries to dunk me up there. Our E ability allows us to go into stealth. We are also going to have a big focus on this with our talents, and it is so good for just moving around the map, increasing our survivability, getting the jump on enemy players. It's so incredibly versatile. Let's see if we can grab these butts before they disappear. ETC decided not to stop me. Very grateful. As he goes for the slide, we make clones of ourselves. Now, I just swapped locations. You can do that with the image transmission on your trait. When you swap places, the enemy team will see a flash, but they won't know where the real Samuro is. And you can use this swap transmission to really outplay a lot of effects in the game. For instance, Kill Fast Living Bomb set on you, you could just remove the debuff. If his ult, the Pyroblast, is traveling for you, you could just remove the target. It's kind of ridiculous. Trying to push up on the enemy team's Azmodan there. I went in with full confidence because I had a clone next to me, and there was no way that they would think that that was the real Samuro doing that kind of a play. The exact same reason I stood still in the middle of them for as long as I did. There's no way the real Samuro would be right here. It's all about the mind games all of the time, and it is so incredibly fun. I will push down towards bottom lane to let Cho'Gall know that I can do this if he doesn't want to. Zagara pushed pretty far up in the lane. Unfortunately, with all that creep, I'm not going to be able to do too much. As she summons in the Hydralisk, I just zip back into the left side of the lane and let my clones tank the rest of that for me. Now, unfortunately, I have 0 ways of clearing the actual creep. Let's see if she wants to stop my turn in or if she is defending. Looks like I will be able to turn in. I am going to try and jump towards this Greymane here, but unfortunately, not too much damage able to be done there. Good root from our Anduin, locks down the ETC, but this fight is mostly coming to an end, I think. Actually, as I'm moving down this way, Zagara jumps in on me. She knows this clone behind her isn't me, so I'm going to swap to it for some mind games. Is it me or not? ETC can't tell. Now we're leaving. In 2 seconds, I'll be able to make some clones again, and I can jump around with them. Also, another small tip for the clones. You, as Samuro, always appear on the cursor side of the clone triangle when you press Q. And you can use that in a few really cool situations. So, for instance, if you ever want to move over small terrain, we can do something like, oh, I messed it up. But something like that can put you on the other side. Or if you move here, yeah, maybe you have to be totally against the wall. I think I was a little too far away from it. At level 7, we're going to pick up Burning Blade. This allows us to have, finally, an AoE. Other than our ultimate, we have nothing to do AoE damage in our kit, if you don't count our clones going out there and hitting some stuff. The friendly team's Cho'Gall is moving in with a purpose. Let's try to move in with one as well. Decent damage there. We will be able to get away from this ETC before he can stun us. I'm going to clone that way and then run this way. Just try to confuse him. Keep him on his toes. Now that he's found a new target, I'm going to slip right back in and try to sneak in some damage. He does know that this is the real me, it seems. My sippy cup is not available for another 50 seconds. So my strategy is just going to be dipping back into stealth to heal ourselves back up and then trying to find a new way of re-entering this fight. The Zagara creep is giving this enemy team a lot of vision. I'm going to swap back to the clone on the far left side as Brightwing was diving towards that tower. Once we hit level 10, we're going to be very effective on this map with our ability to clear lanes very, very quickly, which is very important when you have a Cho'Gall on their team. Oftentimes, Cho'Galls run into trouble if they fall behind on XP. So there's a lot of positive things here. This guy's clearly looking for lanes to soak, clearly playing the objective. I think once we hit level 10, we're going to be in a phenomenal spot. How's Asmodan doing on his stacks? 136 right now. Could have been a lot worse. Greymane's rotating down above us. I have free damage on Brightwing here. I'm going to swap down to my bottom clone, see how they react to that. Now that ETC has picked a new target, we go and help with that immediately. I used my stealth on accident, so I'm not going to have that as an escape here if we need it. Could have swapped back in for a bit more damage. Enemy team turning in there. Spider butts first. I was going to body block Asmodan in the fog there. I'm kind of upset he didn't continue to move forward. As he goes for a dunk on my clones, I'm going to swap positions and then fall back. Looks like we were doing a little bit of damage to that tower and that Greymane there. Zagara sees us coming with all the creep on the map, but we are in position to clear top lane pretty quickly. I'm gonna swap spots. Ooh, jumped into the snipe, unfortunately. Maw catches me. I didn't see that coming. Let me go ahead and pick up Bladestorm. She's going for the Baneling hits here. It was not enough to take me down. Let me go ahead and Sippy Cup, and we might be able to jump to the other side of this and have some fun. I'm going to Bladestorm on the objective as she's firing off her abilities away from me. And now maybe jumping back in. She definitely has Banelings. I need to be careful. Yeah, okay. I think we did all right here at the top lane. I think that was pretty okay. Friendly team is rotating up now, but all of the action is done already. Brightwing is in the middle of the map right now. Let's see if we can jump in on her so she can't rotate in. Of course, she can teleport at any time. But did she see me coming? The polymorph suggests that maybe she did. I'm going to get out before Zagara does any damage to me. ETC in lane beneath us. Here's my plan for Bladestorm for pretty much the rest of this game. Clear the lane. Bladestorm is on a 25-second cooldown. We can just do that all the time. Ooh, enemy team didn't really rotate. I kind of thought we were having a bit more pressure there. That's why I didn't go in on the ETC quite as fast. We have 10 seconds until Bladestorm's ready to go again, so we're going to use our clones and our critical hits to cleave damage. This time, we find another lane and immediately use Bladestorm on it again. Samuro is so incredibly good at generating XP from this point on in the game. It's actually ridiculous. Enemy team's Greymane is kind of poking around the turn-in on the top side. Looks like more action happening in the mid lane here. I do have my stealth, and I'm going to try to use it to get into position on Zagara here. With her on the creep, she's going to move very fast. She's definitely going to try to baneling in, so I'm going to try to clone out. But then, do I swap back in? I thought about it so much, dude. I thought about it so much. Maybe I could sneak in a quick hit. Greymane may have just seen me. No, we gotta bail. We gotta bail. We gotta bail. I'm going to jump to my clone in lane. 2 seconds on stealth, and we're out. Yeah, no way they catch up to me. Took a lot of damage to do that. Was definitely not worth it at all, but hey, trying to get some opportunities here while we can. Zagaras usually do not take Maw. Normally, Nidus Network is the go-to. So normally, you wouldn't pressure a Zagara that hard at all because she could just dip into the Nidus and heal. But this is an interesting dynamic, and I'm trying to leverage my advantage on it. Enemy team definitely knows I'm here. They have to be coming down to stop us, but it looks like I got the turn in anyway. Oh my goodness. We're going to drop into stealth and then move back into lane. Try to jump in on Greymane. We're spinning. Are we winning? Brightwing not going to be taken down. I'm swapping out to preserve a little bit of my HP. Looks like Gall had another say as Brightwing does fall. He's like, don't you tell me the odds. I can do this. All right, so this is kind of cool with this setup. So we have deflection. Advancing strikes grant Samuro and his mirror images physical armor, so they absorb a little bit more physical damage. Advancing strikes is whoop, just what happens when you get that critical hit, I believe. I believe that's what that's called. So with this E talent, we're going to generate an additional clone of our own. Every time we stealth, this will go out onto the field and do all kinds of shit around us and just look like a real Samuro. But I believe as they continue to attack, that continues to also proc our advancing strikes. And that'll come into play more as we hit level 16, and then we can get press the attack for more attack speed. I believe that's the big synergy with this build. I have not played it in a very long time. But I was in the mood for some Samuro today. I didn't do too much to pressure the Zagara there. That range superiority is pretty scary for me. But we do have an interesting push here. Let's go ahead and make some clones, deal as much damage to the enemy team's ETC as we can. And I'm just trying to dive the tower at this point to create clones to try to create an opportunity here. It looks like my team didn't follow me as well as I would have liked, so let's see if we can get creative to get out of this. We're going to make some clones just as the ETC jumps forward, and it looks like that was all we needed to do. Swapping back in now, spinning to take down the Greymane. It looks like this will not be the end. I can make clones again just in time. You love to see it, bro. You fucking love to see it. Hey, region globe. Hey, I'll just clear the bottom lane really fast. Because we don't have any mana at all, we are just always on the map all of the time, always pushing something, always being aggressive, always being a nuisance. It is such a fucking fun playstyle. I love his character. I'm going to try to turn in 30. We do have the team nearby. Almost dodged the stun there. Wasn't quite able to. As he runs away, I'm just going to continue to chase for a minute. A lot of the times with your clones, you're not really looking to input new actions because it makes it a lot more obvious which is the real Samuro and which are the clones. You know, if you're microing yourself a lot, it can be really easy to tell. However, one way around that is to simply not do any inputs. Like you make your clones and then my Samuro just starts attacking, right? I don't need to tell him to do anything. Just stop clicking. Let him do it. We're level 16 to the enemy's 14. We are going to get press the attack while advancing strikes is active. We gain a shit ton of attack speed. I would love to help out with this. I can't do too much. I will make some clones and try to amass a shit ton of attack speed really fast, though. Does he think this is the real me? Because it is, and I am just ripping and tearing into him. Thought about using Blade Storm there, decided not to for some reason. Wall does go down. We're in position. The Blade Storm is out. On top of Zagara, we're going to drop tower aggro really fast. Swapping back to my other clone. We dodged the core attack. Now, does Asmodan see me? That's the real question. No, we were able to slip away again. And I feel like this is a great example of why I love, I don't know how to say this, Kawarimi? at level 13, 16, 13. It's because the extra distraction from the single clone coming in. I've watched this tonight as I've been doing these warm-up games. I've watched this catch people, and they throw their entire arsenal at that clone. Because everyone's used to Samuro making these clones, and when you're stealthing away, everyone has hope. Like, if that gravity lapse lands, they have hope that that's the real Samuro. They finally caught him! But of course, that's impossible. You're already 2 screens away. Hi! How are you? Ooh, nice dunk there. Hold on, we're gonna have to get creative. I don't have any clones. Let me just make another one. He's like, fuck this guy, bro. I already chased him so far. I just give up. Friendly team's up in the top lane, pushing like crazy. It looks like our ogre should be pretty happy. We've been maintaining our XP lead pretty well. We're at top soak for the game, which of course is always kind of what you're going for on Samuro. I am... Honestly, that soak up top looks pretty good. Unfortunate. I'm not going to say Tassadar body blocked me there, but he did occupy the space that I was going for. Easy push. I'm just going to grab the butts and leave. I don't want to make too much of a scene on the map. I'm even going to drop those clones to push in, so they think I'm in the base. I mean, of course, I could be in the base. I think ETC was walking towards those right now, though. We have not been doing a very good job of clearing this creep, and it makes me sad. Let's just drop some clones here, see how they react to those. I'm going to go in stealth. Sit behind these guys here. Might be able to stop a rotation. Might be able to come up behind them. I am invisible entirely, at least for a moment. I wasn't expecting ETC to completely stop there. He is going to use his power slide to get away, and I'm just going to continue to chase after him under tower, trying to look as convincing as a bot as I could. Looks like the friendly team's doing monstrous damage, but Cho'Gall does go down at the top of the screen. We are going to make a bunch of clones to break the red spaghetti of Azmodan. Swap back out towards our healer and hopefully get healed up A-okay. Now we have to take the only option, unfortunately, which is Wind Strider. This is going to lower the cooldown of our E ability, making it so we can do these plays even more. Making it so we are even harder to hit, so we have even more healing. Free damage on Azmodan. Man, you got a lot of coins. What are you thinking? I'm swapping out to this one. There's no way he thinks it's real. ETC has a lot of lockdown. You know what I mean? There's a lot in the arsenal that he can use to stop me. But we just have answers for it all. We're just dancing around him. Blade Storm's up, so I'm going to go down to the bottom lane. We'll clear this. Friendly team needs just 3 more butts for the objective, and I just grabbed them. So let's see if I can do the teleport this time. I know it works. But, which one's the real one? He doesn't know. He doesn't know. All right. Turning in with our Anduin. That level 20 is looking pretty good, but that just means the enemy team is fighting for it too. They're 2 levels away right now. It's about to be 1 at the start of this objective. We need 1 more butt in the bank. That's it. Zagara is running for her life in the top lane, but we ran into a Brightwing. This polymorph did slow me down for a second. Oh my god. Is he looking for the mosh? He didn't do it. We're shooting, we're scooting, and we're securing the kill on the enemy team's healer. Looking for the Grey Mane now. Crit immediately as he jumps in. Going in stealth to create the clone to take the tower. Now we're spinning. Is it enough? Ah, give it to me, you motherfucker. Give it to me. I love the clone decoy with this. Before my warm-up games today, I have not tried it at all, and it's been absolutely such a delight. Like, the amount of freedom it gives to the Samuro is so crazy. Oh, mosh at the last moment. Oh, no. Well, looks like the friendly team is on core as the Ogre takes down the enemy team's Grey Mane. I'll go ahead and spin on this and get the objective moved in on the core, and I'm going to do the same thing. Just try to use our AoE to clear as much of the middle lane to get the objective onto core. That was pretty fun. I like this setup. The idea is that the clones help you generate a ridiculous amount of attack speed. Hey, just because I didn't die. Okay, I guess we did a few other things. And while you have that attack speed, you still have plenty of freedom to zip in and out of team fights at your will. I'm so sorry. I forgot to look at the stats. I don't know what's wrong with me. Talents to be good for in today's video are Way of the Wind into Deflection. Now, there is always a case if you have a bunch of spell damage on the enemy team, you could, of course, go for Mirage to mitigate that damage. But I have found that the later talents for Mirage just aren't anywhere near as appealing as what you can get later for your trait. We then went Burning Blade for some AoE. We then went Blade Storm for even more AoE. The additional image just enables you to get into so much trouble and still find a way to get yourself out. Press the attack for big damage boosts, especially once we cement ourselves onto a target in team fights. And then, of course, the only option at level 20, reducing the cooldown of our Windwalk by 6 seconds. Of course, it's always a little hyperbole when I say that it's the only option at level 20, but it does have a 70% pick rate. Yeah, that's pretty good. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button. I'm trying to prep some videos. I'm staying up all night trying to get some ready because we got some word about a family emergency. So I'm flying down to Florida to be with my family. I'm just trying to knock these out so we can make some revenue this week. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you soon.